In this series of videos, we're going to learn about HTML, the basics of HTML, why it is important for an automation engineer to learn HTML, the structure of any web pages, how do we read it, and then we're going to see everything from scratch. So don't worry, even if you are not HTML developer, we are not aiming for an HTML development kind of stuff, but yes, as an automation engineer, we deal with a web browser automation. We need to know what is HTML, how the pages are constructed, how the data is being displayed on a web browser because of HTML. All those things we're gonna learn. So stay tuned. This is gonna be a small videos. This was a specially requested video from a lot of my students who joined my automation courses, and I used to teach HTML in the beginning of my automation foundation stuff, and now I'm putting it on YouTube for your benefit. So please follow these videos and try to do a lot of practice. It's gonna be very easy, believe me. Even if you haven't done any HTML development before this, after watching these videos, I can assure you that you will at least start developing your basic web pages. And the beauty and the interesting part of it is, when you start developing your own web pages and when you start automating on those web pages, it gives a very different feeling, believe me. Okay, so let's see what is there for you in this course. First, we'll talk about technical aspects of HTML, what it is, how the HTML works in an internet world, when we deal with a web browser and when we deal with a web browser automation. Then why exactly it's important for an automation engineer. So most of the automation training don't even teach you a basic HTML, and I feel that's an unfortunate. Every automation training should definitely have a foundational HTML knowledge included. The reason, because end of day, being an automation engineer, you try to interact with the web pages, you try to interact with elements, we try to interact with entire dynamics of your website or web pages, right? And if you don't even understand the HTML in a right way, then you are missing some important basics there, you know. So that's why we're going to learn about HTML basics, and I'll talk about every step, that hey, this is the point, we need to note it down as an automation engineer, why it is important, you know. So then why you do, how to read HTML. So of course there would be a specific way to read an HTML pages, and when you do right click view page source of on any web pages, you can actually see the entire HTML of that website. So we're gonna see all that things, how do you read them. Then if you don't learn HTML, then what is the important aspect of automation you are missing. I'll cover that part also, so don't worry. Okay, so without delay, let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back. Those who are new to my channel, my name is Saurabh, and I'm in automation industry for last 12 years, and I enjoy sharing automation learning with all of you folks. And I also enjoy teaching automation. I teach several automation tools including Selenium, OpenScript, Puppeteer. So if you are someone who are looking for automation training right from scratch in a step-by-step way, so let me know. The enrollment link is in the description of the video. Okay, so let's understand quickly, guys, what happens when you try to visit any website over the internet. This is gonna be simple, short, not too much technical. So whenever you type something on your browser, let's say an Amazon.com, what exactly is happening? Is the browser generating that page for you? No, of course not, right? He's receiving some information because of which the browser is able to display an Amazon.com page, right? So what happens exactly when you type Amazon.com? I'm calling this as a client, your machine, and the browser inside it. The moment you type the URL, that URL, when you hit enter, it's try to connect with an internet and your internet service provider, and the request goes to the server on which that domain is registered. So if you don't know about domain, forget it. It is just a URL. That URL is registered to be requested on a specific server, right? Your ISP knows that, your internet service provider know that. So the moment someone requests an Amazon.com, it goes to an Amazon server, and then the Amazon server will say, hey, if someone is requesting for me or my website, I'm gonna the one who will respond you back with some information. So that information will transfer from the Amazon server given to your ISP and finally reach to your browser. So browser is displaying that information. Okay, so let's try to do that. So right now I'm typing Amazon.com and hitting an enter. The moment I hit enter, now what happens? I started seeing some kind of information on this browser. So from where this information has came, this came from the Amazon server. Now what is that information? So in a simple word, when I right click and do a page source, you will see a big code. Ideally this is an HTML. Okay, so this is an HTML which is responded back by the server, and now the browser is reading that HTML, and because of the response in the form of HTML, he is displaying that information to you. So in simple words, browser is not generating anything for you. Browser is just a person acting as a mediator between you and that web server, and he is just able to decode whatever is sent to him. And what is sent to him, it is just an HTML. Of course, there will be a lot of things in that HTML. You will have a JavaScript, you will have CSS, and there will be a lot of other technologies. So I'm not going in that depth. But yes, in short, he is receiving an HTML, and then because of the browser can understand and read HTML, he is displaying this complex code, whatever you see in front of me right now, in the simplest form like this. Okay, so in short, there is a exchange of HTML happening between your browser and a web server, to and fro repetitively on every action you perform on the browser. Okay, so now as an automation engineer, you need to understand the structure of this page. When I say structure of this page, this structure, whatever you see in front of you, is because of someone has written an HTML in that way. Okay, so if you see now, when I right click on this page and when I do a view page source, this is what you will see. Now on this, if you see line number 1, it starts with something called as HTML. This is what we're gonna learn in this course. So don't worry if you are getting scared by looking at this code. Don't worry, I'm gonna teach you everything. So be patient, just try to listen what I'm saying and try to do a practice. So this code, what you see in front of me, is a little complex and it has a lot of things because it has a JavaScript embedded in it. So don't worry. But yes, it starts with HTML, and just scroll down. It will be thousands of code lines, guys. Believe me. Now you see, it has almost 2000 code lines, and the final line will be again an HTML. So basically everything is wrapped in the HTML tag, and that everything which is wrapped inside, because of that you are able to see this beautiful page which has images, text, and lot of other information. Okay, so this is what we're gonna learn in this course. The full form of HTML, guys, is hypertext markup language. Okay, so what exactly the hypertext markup language is? So it's a language because of which you are able to see something on your browser. Okay, so any website or any web page, when you see that how that web page is being constructed, is what we're gonna learn. So everything will be wrapped inside these HTML tags. Okay, so whatever I'm writing, they are basically called as HTML tags. Now there are two types of tag. This is what I teach in a simple language in HTML. One is opening and closing tags. Okay, so opening and closing tags, the one which I wrote right now, this is one of the form of opening and closing tag. Why? Because I generally call this as an opening tag, and this has to have a closing tag, which means this forward slash, so this is a one set of tag. If you simply write this and if you don't write a closing tag, then it's gonna throw an error. Or if you try to write a closing tag first and then opening tag, then also it's gonna throw an error. So every web page will start with HTML tag and end with this closing tag, and everything will be in between these tags. Okay, everything, all the other tags which we're gonna learn, will be nested between this tag. So this is a one form of tags. What is the next? Next, I call it as a standalone tags. Standalone tags. So what does it mean, standalone tags? So there will be some type of tags which doesn't need any closing tag, which means let's take an input tag. Okay, so if this is the tag which doesn't need a closing tag like this, so that's why we call them as a standalone tag. So this tag on its own is complete like this. Don't get confused, these are the only basic two type of tags you will find it in HTML, and using these tags, by nesting these tags, we're gonna create a beautiful web page. And that's why we need to learn that how the structure of a web page would be. Okay, so now let's start with the structure of an HTML. So as I said, every web page will consist of this HTML tag and closing HTML tag. Inside this HTML tags, guys, we'll have head and body. Okay, so like your own human structure has head and body, you can remember in that way that it will start with a head tag. And of course head is a type of tag which needs a closing, so I'm just writing opening head tag and closing head tag, and then I'll type a body tag. So just need to learn a basic syntax, nothing great. We just need to type in a proper syntax. That's the only thing you need to remember in HTML and nothing else. Okay, so now that's it. Now what we did, we created a basic HTML structure with HTML tag, and in the HTML tag we nested head tag and a body tag. That's it. And then whatever we want to display to an end user, we'll start putting the tags either inside head or inside body. Okay, so let's see how does it work. Now to do this development or to create your own web pages, you can use a Notepad++. You can even use a notepad. Even if you don't have any other ID, that's totally fine. You can still practice it on a Notepad++. Just open a Notepad++ and just follow what I'm asking or what I'm teaching, and then you will able to create your own web pages, okay, within no time. So let's continue. I'm gonna use a brackets, which is a very comfortable and a lightweight ID for an HTML development. If you want, you can download it. I think it's also available free of cost for Mac and web Windows. So, or you can use a Notepad++, no matter. Okay, so what I'm gonna use, I'm gonna use a brackets, the new file. I'll say my web page .html. This is what you need to remember, that give the extension when you save in your Notepad++. When you save the file, just give it as .html, and that's it. Now we're gonna start writing our HTML. Like I said, it has to start with HTML tag. Now you see this ID, the one I'm using, is intelligent enough to understand that which type of tag needs a closing tag, and that's why the moment I've written HTML, it auto populated a closing tag. So that is the beauty of using this kind of ID, so that you save some time. Okay, now inside this HTML tag, I need to have a head tag, right? So now you see it also populated a closing head tag because it understands that head tag is this type of tag which needs opening and closing. There are other type of tags, standalone tag. We'll see them. Now what after head, we'll also type a body tag. And guys, there is no rule that body tag need to be intended like this. You can also write like this, or you can also write them in a same line. Okay, so don't worry, HTML has no restrictions like this. Even if you type like this one after another, there is no problem. This is just for our visual comfort that we are putting them in a next line, right? So there is no rules like that. You can type it. Just make sure that you have a closing tag. If you don't type this, now you see it started throwing an error. Basically it's showing that there is something wrong with your HTML because it doesn't have a closing body tag. Okay, that's it. Save this. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go and open this page. I'm gonna open this page on a web browser. Now you see the moment I haven't done anything. We just created a basic HTML page with a basic HTML structure. Let's see if we get anything displayed on the browser. I'm gonna double click. I'm gonna open this page. You see, I don't see anything. Why? Let's see, right click, view page source. Do you see whatever we have developed, it is started showing under the page source, but why it's not displaying anything? And the simple answer for that is we haven't used any tag which would help us to display anything. We haven't done anything like that. Let's try to enhance that HTML. Now what I'm gonna do, inside the head tag, we're gonna insert a one more tag called, let's say, p tag. Now see, it auto populated a closing p. I'll say this is my first web page. I'm happy developing it. That's it. Now inside these tags, whatever you write, that will be displayed based on the type of tags you use. Okay, remember this. Now let's try to understand how this information which we wrote inside those two p tags, how this information is gonna get displayed on my browser. Now we're just gonna save this file, go back to our browser again where we opened that HTML file, and then reload it. Now you see, wow, the information or the content which we have written between those p tags has started displaying on my web page, right? Now again, if I do right click and do page source, I'll able to actually see the code which we have developed, right? Now you see, this is what you are started seeing. Now if you go to amazon.com and when you see right click and do page source and you see page source like this, now you can relate that how this page source, which looks so complex, is coming from, right? The HTML developers, the front-end developers who has developed this page has actually written this code for you, so that when browser receives this code from a web server, he's just converting that code and displaying it to you, like it has done in this case, right? And when you want to see an underlying code which is responsible to display this data, we just do a right click, view page source, and you can see actually see the code which is because of which you are able to see the content, correct? So this is one of the very simplest form of a web page. Now let's try to enhance this. So what I'm going to do, just after this p tag, I'm going to experiment something else. So let's say I'm putting h1 tag. Okay, so it has auto populated. Very good. I'll say Saurabh is teaching basics of HTML. Save it. You remember your childhood days, the kind of chocolate wrapper, based on that you used to understand what type of chocolate it is, right? If you have an orange wrapper, you know it's an orange candy. If it's like a pink or a rose kind of a wrapper, you know it's a rose kind of chocolate. So what I'm trying to say here is, in HTML, whatever tags you used to wrap the information, whatever information we are writing in between those tags, technically we call them as inner text. But in a simple language, whatever content or whatever information you are wrapping with the type of tags, the browser will display this data based on the type of tags you are wrapping with. So just understand that this is the wrapper and this is the chocolate. So whatever chocolate you have, based on that you will use the wrapper, right? Now if you remember, this content was displayed in a very simple format like this, right? Now let's see, if I have written Saurabh is teaching basic HTML and between h1 tag, and now when I reload this, let's see how this content is gonna get displayed. Now you see, you can see the difference, right? Now here, the Saurabh is teaching basics of HTML, that line is bigger than the earlier line. Why? Because it's pretty simple. The type of tag you use, the information is gonna get displayed like that. I'm gonna copy this information, just put it in the next line. Now instead of h1, let's experiment. Let's do something like h2. See, you can't do like this. If you have opening h2, you should have a closing h2. Okay, so if you use id, you will get highlighted. Otherwise in notepad++ you'll have to do this manually. h2, save it, go back, reload your browser. Now you see this has a smaller size than this, right? Now this is a small example of your opening and closing tags. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a standalone tag. So what is a standalone tag? A very famous input tag. Now you see it didn't populate a closing tag. Why? Because ID understand that hey, this is a standalone type of tag. I just added an input tag, nothing else. Just go there and reload your page. Wow, see what do you see? You see an input box, you see a text box. Now you see a right click and do page source. Now you see all the code which you have written is exactly displayed in front of you. Now I'm going to do some changes in our code, and I want an answer from you guys. You can just write it in comment and pause the video before you write a comment, because you're gonna get answer just after this. That if I don't keep any space in this code, if I write this entire code in one single line, like this, like this, like this, of course you know it is not needed because it's not gonna look good, but just trying to understand how much you are with HTML now. If I try to write this in one single line and if I save this code, will there be any difference in the way I see? What I mean to say, there are some student in my class who said, hey Saurabh, you have written an input tag after p tag, which means by giving spaces, and that's why it's appearing here. And I asked him that if I give 10 spaces in my code, will that input line move 10 spaces down? And he's like, oh yeah, why not? And that's why I'm asking you guys here, that if I write in one single line the entire code, after p tag I immediately have an h1 tag, Now, do you think that all this information will also get displayed in one single line next to each other? I want an answer from you guys. Pause the video, just type and comment. Now let me refresh this page. Oh, there is no change. Why? Because, like I said, it's not dependent on where you write an HTML code. It is dependent on which tags are you using. Based on the what tags you use, the information is gonna wrapped up like that, guys. Okay, so don't assume that if I put 3 spaces in my code, it's gonna display it like that. No, it's not gonna be like that. Now what I'm gonna do, after this input, I'm gonna again add an input in the next line, again add an input in the next line, again add an input in the next line. So how many inputs I did? 4 inputs. Now let's go and refresh our page. Oh wow, see, 4, but they are in a same line. I want them next to each other. How do I do that? For that also we have a tag in HTML called as breakline tag, BR tag. Now you see, this is also a type of standalone tag. Now if I give one BR tag after every input tag, after this input also I'll give a BR tag and save it. Now I've added all the BR tags after input tags, right? Now let's go and refresh our page. Wow, you see, but still Saurabh, this is not looking good. You know, it doesn't have sufficient spaces one below another, but there is no sufficient space in between them. What do I do? Add one more BR tag. Okay, I added 2 BR tags. Just this input and this input has in between 2 break lines. Now you go and refresh your page. Now you see a sufficient spacing, right? Similarly, if you want sufficient spacing between this input and this input, try to add 2. Here, try to add 2. Very good. Now let's go. Let's refresh our page. Okay, now I see sufficient spacing between this 4 different input. Cool. Now let's understand one more thing. If you remember, if you have ever started learning Selenium WebDriver on your own, then the first thing, generally most of the YouTube videos or the blogs or the famous internet websites teaches you how to grab the title of a website and try to validate the title of a website, right? So for example, if this is an Amazon.com, if I hover my mouse on this tab, whatever I see, Amazon.com online shopping in that small drop down, this is basically called as title. If I go to in a page source, just go to a page source of that Amazon.com, and if you try to search Control F title, you see this is the title tag, right? You see a title tag and you see an exactly same title what you are seeing here. When you hover your mouse, and whatever title you are seeing, the exact same title you see in these title tags. What does it mean? On our website or our web page which we are developing, if we want to add a title, right now if you see, this is a website, this is a web page which we are developing, right guys? Now if I hover my mouse, do I see any title? Ideally no, this is coming by default, just the name of that HTML file. But if I want to add a title, what I'll do, I'll add a title tag. It's very easy guys, don't get complicated. It's just matter of using a right tag and wrapping them inside each other. Okay, so nesting of tags we're gonna learn in the next chapter. Which tag will be used to display what type of information, we're gonna learn in the next tag. But right now we are understanding the basic structure of HTML, that how the HTML, whatever we write in the markup language, we are writing it here, is able to, the browser is able to read this code and translate that to a displayable information, right? So now in this title I'll say my personal website or web page, that's better word. Okay, my personal web page. We just wrap them inside a title tag. Now let's go, let's refresh. Oh cool, see now your web page, the one which we are developing, when you hover your mouse, now you see the same title, my personal web page. Now let's assume I want to display that today is 10% discount. So what I'll say here, I'll say today is 25% discount on automation courses. Okay, I don't give that discount, but yeah, today is 25% discount on all automation courses. Let's add all. Cool. And now I just saved it. So So this new title, when someone refreshes this web page now they'll start seeing this. See, when I hover my mouse, it'll say today is 20%, 25% discount on all automation courses. The information is not able to display entire thing, so it's wrapping it up. But yeah, the idea here is that whatever we are writing in an HTML, that markup language is translated by the browser, and it is able to show you a meaningful information in the front end, right? And if you want to see any web page, what that web page, why this information is being displayed like this, you just right click and do a web view page source. You'll able to see some HTML. Don't be scared when you see such a complicated HTML. And this, guys, the HTML will have a lot of nested things inside it. We're gonna learn that in our upcoming chapters. But yes, the basic idea, or the basic thing which you need to know before you start learning automation, is how the HTML is being constructed. What is the structure of it? How that data is getting displayed? Because ultimately, as an automation engineer, your duty is to perform actions on this page. When I say perform action, which means you need to either click on it, you need to type something, you need to take a screenshot, you need to drag and drop. There's so many things you're gonna do. And when you are learning to automate that web page, it is very important, guys, to know how the structure of that web page is, because then only you'll be able to write the right automation. Hey guys, so if you enjoyed this video and my training style is helping you to learn something in automation, then please reach out to me. I can train you right from scratch, and I have trained a lot of professionals. I worked with all these product companies. I enjoy teaching, and I day-to-day job is doing automation. So if you are someone who is looking for a right trainer who can teach you automation from scratch, then reach out to me. The enrollment link is in description. I have a lot of free courses on my website, ministryofautomation.com, so you can also visit on my website and take some of the free courses over there. I also take a lot of free seminars over the weekend where I teach all these basic things which are really important to crack in interviews or to start in automation career with confidence. So reach out to me and I'll be happy to talk to you. You can also WhatsApp me. All the information is in description. Thank you.